Today's how to build is on this conveyor belt from Orange Beats Binary. So I built this conveyor belt mostly using the pieces from 8263 Snow Groomer, which is a Technic set. I also used the links from the city set 7632 Crawler Crane combined with the Snow Groomer conveyor links to make this conveyor belt. So I'll put links to those sets in the descriptions in case you want to go and try and find the bulk of these parts, but let's get down to building. Now, because I built this just using spare parts from a set, and because I'm not the best Technic builder in the world, there's going to be some weird constructions here, so bear with me. Also, I don't know the names of any of these Technic pieces, so get one of these pieces. Let's call it a double bent beam in gray, and put pins here and here. Then get one of these H sled pieces and connect it like that. Do the same thing with one of those pieces, but on the other side and on the other side. So these are going to be the main supports of our structure, but now we need to, and then we're going to put 3 long pin, 3 long pin, 3 long pin, and regular pin. And then we're going to put these to a side. So start with a 5 beam and put 4 pins in it, like so. Then have another 5 beam with 1 pin over there. Connect that there. Then this is going to be a 7 beam with 1 pin in the middle. Connecting here. This is a 5 beam with 1 regular pin and 2 3 long pins. Connecting there. What's next? So this is a 7 long beam, 2 regular pins. Connects on the end of that. This I have a L beam with a pin and a 3 long pin. Connecting there. This is another 5 beam, pin, 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 pin and a half. And on the end here, a 5 beam with a pin coming up, like so. And if we go back over here to look, we're going to take a 5 beam and one of these J beams, I don't know what you'd call it. Connect them like that, and this like so. So put that J beam there, then leave a space of 2, then put a 5 beam across there. Moving over to this big honk of pins there, put an L beam with a pin to axle connector in it, and connect all of those in. Then take another L beam, and then one of these J beams over here. Skip 2 first. Skip 2, and then a 5 beam with 2 pins goes in here. So that's sort of a random thing, isn't it? Alright, so now we can take these pieces and connect them into the bottoms. Right there, and see now that's actually sturdy. And on the other side. So now we've got this as the base of our conveyor belt. A little flexible, but overall it'll hold together. Okay, with another one of these H sleds, a pin here, a pin to axle here, one of these corner pin connector thingies. Is this, what's the Hassan plug pin thing? Anyway, that goes there. Half pins in here that'll come in way late in the game, if at all. A T-beam with a pin and a pin to axle right here. And then a similar construction, but different. So start with the sledge, or sled H sled. Put a pin there. Put another one of these 90-degree pin bobs. You can put in your half pins. Over here, which is slightly different because that one was there, this one is here. And then the same T with a pin and a pin to axle here. And then going back to our conveyor belt base, we're going to stick this one in there and this one in there. And this is what we've got. It's a weird looking thing, but all that matters in Technic is that it works, not what it looks like. So this is a 13 long beam. Isn't it weird in Technic how everything is odd numbered instead of even, like the rest of Lego? It's like they have to be different. So yes, and on one side you put a pin in the first hole and the 7th hole, or middle hole, and on the other side you put one in the 2nd hole from that, and the 8th hole, or from that side, 6th hole from that side. So 1, 6, 7, 12 could be one way of counting it. And then these little circly things go on these two. Then we're going to take an L beam, put a pin to axle here, pin, pin, triple pin over here, and then this goes there. Next we have a 9 beam with a pin and a circle in the 4th hole, or the 5th, and it is going to connect over here, like so. This L beam is all full of pins, so that's a pin to axle, pin, 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 pin there. Again, 2 in that. This 9 beam, it's again in the 4th hole, just counting from the other direction. The pin in the circle connects to the L. The next L beam, we're going to do pin, pin, axle pin, triple pin. And then we're doing another 13 beam. This has got, why did I just pull that out? And then finally we've got another 13 beam with a pin and a circle in the 1st hole. Pin going backwards in the 6th hole. Pin and circle in 7. And then a pin going backwards in 12. And that connects onto the end. So now we've got another long thingamajiggy. And we're going to look at the end over here. We're going to take a 9 beam with a peg in the middle and slide it down there, and do the same thing back on the other end. This one giving me a little more trouble. There we go. Voila. So we're going to start with a 9 beam. This one happens to be red. Color doesn't really matter. Pin in 2nd and 8th hole. Then we're going to take an 11 beam. That again, this is just based on what I was using. You can use whatever beams are appropriate for you. Pin and circle in the 3rd hole. Overlap like so. A L beam with lots of pins. And you know, 1 pin to axle. Another 11 beam. Just plain as it is. An L beam full of pins. This 11 beam has its pin and circle right smack dab in the middle, number 6. And then I had this in here for some reason. So that's just a 2-beam. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna leave it in. L full of pins. This 11-beam has its pin and circle at number 3, and then a 9-beam to fill this out. And then if we take the thing we built right before this, so we want to fit this onto the 2 pins that are sticking up from the layer below, ignoring the long pins in the back. And that fits well, and if you wanted to make it sturdier, there's other connections you can make. Oh, those 2 L-beams went together. That's nice. Okay, so there is 3 connections that you make. Okay. Still not sure why that piece is there, but let's just leave it. Also, I'm not sure why I didn't put as many circles back here. I probably just ran out when I was making it, but again, let's not mess with success. Okay, now we're going to look back at this monstrosity we built earlier. So we're going to see these 3 pins sticking out, and we're going to look at the bottom of this flatter thing that we built, and we're going to notice, where could these possibly line up? Oh, now I know why I put this here. Haha! Success. Okay, so we're going to see this black pin here is going to line up to this L-beam. This double pin will line up to that hole. Those L-beams are connected. This little thing that I built without knowing why is got a drop-down axle that'll fit on that axle. This is a pin to that hole and pin to that hole. So connect that all in. That was fun. Okay, so now we've got our conveyor belt surface, which we'll notice is sort of cantilevered, which is not super stable, but it also means that we'll actually be able to have a conveyor belt rotate all the way around because there's nothing interfering with it moving around. So just a couple last things to do. Take a 9 long axle, because again, everything has to be odd in Technic land. Do an axle to axle connector here, 2 long axle. Do one of these thingamajigs, which are very nifty handles. And then we're going to put one of these conveyor belt grabbers on. We're going to put another conveyor belt grabber on, and make sure that their holes are lined up, or their notches are lined up, because you could also put it on a 1/4 degree off and their notches would be unaligned, and that would be bad. And then actually, we're going to take that off, and we're going to go to one of the ends, stick this through, and put this on in such a way that the notches are aligned, and line that up like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. So this goes through. Notches are unaligned, so 1/4 twist. Notches are aligned. Huzzah! So if you've never put conveyor belt links together, this is what the basic link looks like. Kind of got eyes and a mouth if you look like it this way. Or it's a boombox if you look at it this way. But anyway, I've got them in dark gray and black, and they click together with these little teeth here. Click on, click. So you're going to make a chain of these that is 63 long. I am alternating black and dark gray because those are the colors I had, and that looks cool. And mine starts with black and ends with black, because 63 is an odd number. And then you're going to build another one that is also 63 long for your conveyor belts. So, we've got our conveyor belt, except for the belt part. And then we're going to take the belt and slide it above the Technic stuff that's below, but below the things that have notches on them. We're going to lay it flat, and then we're going to find the grooves in this thing and connect them in well. And once we've done that on one side, then we're going to turn the other side until it fits the belt. Then we're going to connect them. And because we've done this with 63 with alternating colors, we have one point where the black and the black meet. So that'll be a handy reference point when we put the other belts behind it. Let's flip this around to show our method of approach. I'm going to slide it over the sleds at the bottom, because that's the only thing really in its way. And then I am going to wrap it around this one until the black piece here meets up exactly with the back. All right, let me show what I've done. So I've wrapped it around so it's well connected to that, and found the place where the black here matches the back black of where the two blacks meet, so that I know that it'll match up. We want to similarly wrap it around the other side, and then find the two meeting points. And now, if we turn one of these little black handles, the whole thing moves and is in unison. Well, let's turn this around to be front facing. This one, the Technic pieces keeps the bottom of the conveyor belt pretty much in line, so it's not down and slack. And we can go forward and back. In the back, it's just hanging slack, but that's fine. So, just briefly, I told you to put two little half pegs here. That's if you want to connect like a plate layer back here. So when I was animating the episode, Chiselbot was actually, you know, back here working on the conveyor belt. So there was just a layer of plates back here. That's where all the action was taking place. So they stood on that. So that's why I put those pins in there. Obviously, if you're not using it for that purpose, you don't have to. But yeah, so this is the conveyor belt. Just give you some shots of it moving. These holes are basically spaced apart such that this one and this one are 4 apart, and this is sort of a half in between. So if we take a 2x4 brick, we can see that this first stud and the last stud line up to that hole. So if you want to have things connected to the conveyor belt, you can put half pins in these holes. That's what I did for the big blocks that we're moving, which were just 8x8 blocks. Well, 8x8x8 cubes, rather. So that's something to think about when you're doing your conveyor belt. Oh, and then these also end up being, you know, there's a space of 2 between these 2 holes. So that works out pretty nicely in terms of connecting to other things that you want to convey. Now that you've built the conveyor belt, you should put some things on it to convey. For instance, the microscale factory from Orange Beats Binary, the robot worker from Orange Beats Binary, or the robot foreman from Orange Beats Binary. Convey, convey, convey. You can click on these to go see their how to build videos.